Testing, testing. Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I feel crappy, but I'm here and ready to go.
Are you sick or are you just having a bad day?
No, I'm just feeling cooped up. I'm working from home because
Oh,
our office has COVID and last week, but I'm still recovering from last week, I think a little, but
how's your dad? Now, where is your dad anyway?
he's in Logan.
Oh, okay.
He lives just outside of Logan in Hiram. And yeah, he just got sick and I think he had walking pneumonia and he didn't know it. It sounds like.
Oh, wow.
And so he had fluid build up on his lungs and just was really sick with it. And like I said, they couldn't get him into Logan. They couldn't get him into Ogden. He's a veteran. They didn't get him into the Veterans Hospital. So they ended up putting him in St. Mark's. And so, yeah, it was just quite the deal. And then they booted him out early because they needed beds. So they sent him home pretty soon after he had 2 surgeries.
Good grief.
Yeah, but they had to crack his chest open, I guess, to do part of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was a mess. But yeah, thanks for asking. It's just, I love this slide, the welcome new chambers.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought, we usually just read them off if we're there in person.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's great. And actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll just take a screenshot of this even and see if I can, or maybe I can have you send it to me or have you do a screenshot. We can post it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll send you the slide.
And I wasn't planning on saying much of anything today. I'm just here as a supporter.
Oh,
so.
that's fine. Okay. I'll introduce Mike unless you want to introduce Mike.
And if you want to look, I don't know if you could pull it up on your phone. I just did a little bio about him as like a last minute teaser that you could read all or part of if you wanted to introduce him.
Oh, good. Yep. Program coordinator for Rural Online Initiative.
You could even just stop he came from the private sector with 20 plus years of experience in international business, sales and online marketing. You could say he speaks Mandarin Chinese.
Oh yeah, okay.
And serves, I like saying that he's from Panguitch and serves on the city council in Panguitch because that's like gives him credibility with our group, you know.
Yeah.
So but yeah.
Okay.
But I'm excited about today. It'll be great.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for setting him up.
Oh yeah, and the other girl, she said she was willing to speak in the future. She didn't have a time slot for today, but with the email marketing lists.
Yeah, so maybe we could set her for December 8th.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking. Also, I don't know, like watching the comments on after posting the governor's I want to say the governor's orders. People are clearly not confused. They just are like, what's the point? Like,
yeah, this
isn't enforceable, but really it is the burden of the businesses to enforce things. And so that could mean problems for them. And yes, maybe the chances are slimmer, but they're not. I mean, they just have to, I guess people will weigh their own risks if they want to participate or not.
Yeah. And Mary Jo, do you know Mary Jo Cronin?
I don't.
Oh, she used to work for Best Friends. She's been gone for quite a while, but I saw she posted something about I'm going to the Labor Commission. So it sounded like she was going to like go around and check on everybody. And I thought, that's something Michelle Galeria would probably do too.
That's what I was thinking about Michelle. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, I hope. I was afraid of that also.
And there's a little bit of misinformation. I mean, Joanne posted about, well, the mask, it's only for 2 weeks. And I said, no, here's what it says on the state website. It's going to continue longer than
Yeah.
2 weeks. But, everybody's like just got snippets of what they've heard or what they read or what
Yeah.
they think. And
No, it's true.
Hey, I'm here, but I'm going to run to the restroom really quick.
Okay, sounds great.
All right.
I just don't want to get more involved than we already have. I mean, it's our job to share. Lori Fowler made a good point. She says, why is the chamber sharing this? Where's the health department? But I mean, the chamber obviously is sharing it from the business angle, but yeah, the health department, I haven't looked at their posts lately. I'm hoping they've shared it, but whatever.
We did get a nice comment compliment from Josh and Audrey from AM Accounting, just talking about, Audrey said, I didn't know anything about this from the city or from the health department. It was the chamber that told me about this. And so I was like, oh. And Josh said, yeah, the chamber does a good job at keeping people informed. And I just said, well, we've tried, we've been trying. The chamber team has been trying since the beginning. So
go figure.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, and I was wondering if you were going to get any word from Brent saying something about all the information that we put out.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, we're just conveying the message.
Exactly.
At this point.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, thank you, Sabrina. It's interesting though about the colleges. They said they're going to do, hold on just 1 second. They are starting to say that the governor said that the universities need to be testing, but that's such a daunting task when you have clearly not everybody's on campus, but when you have thousands of students and test supplies are not always readily available. And I don't know, it's interesting. But Sabrina had to do labs on campus in Colorado this last week. And I'll tell you something, I've never seen anything like it because I just sat in the car while she went into the science building to do her labs. Every single kid was wearing a mask inside and out. It was just like a well-oiled machine. They had it down and people were really participating, and they still have COVID numbers clearly, but it was just refreshing to see because it's not always the case.
Yeah.
Big C State campus.
On Sunday night, the governor mentioned something about people under 35 in the workplace when he was talking about testing everybody. And I need to go back and look because I haven't heard anything more about that. But that was part of his comments on Sunday night.
It's just a lot. It's a lot of testing.
So I thought that applies to a lot of our employees at Best Friends, people under 35.
A huge percentage, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized, clearly from what he was saying, I guess Utah has not been prioritizing testing for those under 35, and I don't think I realized that. I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I would understand why, but I don't think I realized that was the case.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what happens. So. Very interested.
Yeah, well, what I have to imagine is more stressful for Governor Herbert and his staff is that it'll be, what will the COVID numbers look like on November 22nd? And are they going to be forced to continue his orders into Thanksgiving, which is a whole different thing than before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's see, Mike, I'm gonna make you Why is it not letting me make you a co-host? Is it because
I'm not part of your Zoom system. I don't know.
That still is not. Did you have slides you were going to use?
I can make you a co-host.
Okay, I think it's because I'm a co-host.
You have to be
Oh,
a
okay.
co-host.
I just made him a co-host.
Okay,
Be a
good.
host to make co-host. Yes,
There you go.
that's true.
And by the way, I've had several people reach out and say that they had other things scheduled over this time, so they were going to come back and watch the recording. So regardless of how many people show up in the next couple minutes, we will make a nice clean recording and we will share it with the world.
I'm not sure I'll make a nice clean recording, but I'll try. How's that?
As clean as it can be.
It's going to be hard if I don't have any audience. So luckily there's 3 of you to be an audience. So
We'll leave our cameras on and
Colette, you started the recording?
it just automatically starts.
Oh, because it says pause and stop. And I thought, well, I don't think I started it.
Yeah, that's so Colette does not forget to hit record. Many lessons learned.
I've done that a couple of times. Yeah, started recording like 15 minutes into the meeting. Yeah.
And better late than never, right? But still, it's like, go, go, go. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Zoom in the last 2 weeks. It's like that was my everyday at Best Friends, and then it kind of died down, and then now it's back up to quite a bit. So,
do we? Let's see. Where am I? Oh, never mind. I figured it out.
okay.
So you know what I'll do, just for the sake of the recording, let's wait 1 more minute and then I'll welcome people and say, I want to welcome our new chamber members, and then Mike, I'll introduce you, and then I'll stop sharing my new chamber members slide, and then you can pull your slides up.
I don't have any. I'm not going to use slides really. I'll use some screenshots. I'll share a couple web pages, but I'm gonna talk a lot, and hopefully, I was hoping for interaction, but it might not be very much.
We'll interact.
You can try.
Oh, Chelsea Stewart's here. She's with Ensign Staffing, right?
Hi, Chelsea.
She's not in yet. She's still in the waiting room.
Yep, I just clicked on her to come in.
Oops.
Hey, Chelsea.
Hi, Chelsea.
And Chelsea's probably eating her lunch.
Sitting in my car waiting for my daughter, actually, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, my clock says 12:02. How about if we wait 1 more minute and then we'll go.
Drink a sip of Mountain Dew. And I love how my Mountain Dew turns, it's greenish, so it turns invisible.
Yeah, it's
That's crazy.
I love it.
It's like a magic potion.
Some might say that's true about Mountain Dew.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'll kick it off, and then we'll edit the recording to edit out everything before this. Welcome, everybody. This is Pat Guerrero with the Kanab Chamber, and I want to welcome you all to our November monthly lunch meeting, and welcome new chamber members, Houston's Trails End Restaurant and Rockin' V Cafe and Pizza Hut. So we're glad that they have all joined us at the Chamber of Commerce. So today we have a very special guest, Mike Sarles, and I want to introduce Mike. Mike is a program coordinator for the Rural Online Initiative program based in rural Southern Utah. He came from the private sector with 20 plus years of experience in international business, sales, and online marketing. He speaks Mandarin Chinese. He enjoys traveling to Asia. He lives in Panguitch, and he's a volunteer firefighter there. He's active in his community as a city council member in Panguitch. And also I know that he's been working on starting a Chamber of Commerce in Panguitch. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mike.
Thank you. I think you must have read my bio off the internet. That's good. I'm just teasing. No, I appreciate the introduction. I also wanted to add that the Rural Online Initiative is part of USU Extension's was a pilot program. It's now a continuing funding program with the state of Utah. And so we're really excited that we have continuous funding now for the Rural Online Initiative. And just really quickly, what we do is we do a lot of things. We teach people how to work remotely. That used to be a foreign term to people before COVID-19. Now everybody knows about working from home and working remotely. So our aim is to help people do that better. A lot of people were thrown into it, and so we have some strategies to help people be better remote workers. So that's one of our things. We also teach people how to lead remote people. And one of the other things is we talk about online entrepreneurship and e-commerce and different things like that. And I think that's how Colette wrote me into this. So so let me just quickly, if I can find my agenda, because everybody has to have an agenda these days, right? So I've pasted my agenda in there for this presentation. And the first question that I would ask any business owner is your business online, or is my business online? And that some people would say, oh, I don't have a website, no. And some people would say, no, I just have a store or whatever. But that's actually a very loaded question. So if you're a new business that's never done any promotions online, never had a Facebook page, nothing, then yeah, you're probably right. You don't have an online presence. But if you're more than 3 months old, I'm betting you're actually online whether you wanted to be or not. So so let's talk a little bit about that. So you may ask yourself, okay, do I have a website? Do I have a Facebook page? Do I have any other social media accounts that I use with my business? Do I have listings online? Do I have things like Yelp reviews or other reviews? So those types of review sites. Or do you have a Google My Business listing page? Have you actually claimed that to be your own? So there's many things you can use to qualify whether or not you're online as a business. It isn't just about a website, though having a website's important, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on today. If you're not managing your online presence, then you're at best missing out on some really great opportunities to connect with customers or with future customers. At worst, you're possibly driving people away from your business that you'll never meet. So it's really important to control that online presence. I'm going to share with you, if I can do this. I am trained in Zoom, and so let's see if I can actually make it work. I'm going to share a spreadsheet. I don't know if can you see this funny little spreadsheet I have here. All right, so this is it's a very simple audit audit document that you can use to see what your online presence is. So do you have a business website? And if you do, I suggest you can start by putting down your domain name, your expiry date for your domain name, the registrar you're with, and then some other things about your website. Go look at your website, see if you have these things. And if you don't, that's an opportunity to improve your website. Every website should have a business website, should have a phone number, an email address to contact you, the hours of operation if you're a brick and mortar business. If you're an online business, hours that people can contact you or ways to contact you that way, or online chat or whatever you do to contact people. A location, so an address to your physical store or or multiple locations if you have them. Also, you want to have information about you, about your business. So your a contact us form, but also an about us form or a page to show, who are we? Who is our business? Maybe a picture of your business, your owner, the staff at work, something that lets people understand who you are. Have pictures of your products, have logos and icons of organizations that approve you. We look at, when we buy something that's electric or electronic, we look for a UL listing. Well, I'm sure your business, you may have things that you have organization icons or things like that. You can show that you're approved. Your business logo, you should always brand yourself and have testimonials from customers. And we'll talk about testimonies and reviews later on as well. But very important to have on your website. Always have a call to action. Always ask them to do something when they're on your website. Coupons, incentives, discounts for seeing you online. that way they can come in and they can say, yeah, I saw you online, and this is the coupon that I printed out, or whatever it is, to help you know where they came from, how they got to your door and came into your store. And have them sign up for an email newsletter. All the different marketing things that you can do with email is amazing. If you have their email address, it's valid. An email address can be worth $10, $100, $1,000, depending on what you do with that. So an email address can be very important, and also treated as sacred. Don't just give it out to people. You can show when you're available, when you're online, when you're not online, or when you're just different things about your hours. And then you want to look at the way you've tagged things on your pages, the keywords that you use. That's mostly for search engine things and the different ways that the internet indexes pages, but it's important to have keywords in your paragraphs of content and different things like that. So you want to look for those things. And then also it's good to have a easy reference for the person that's managing your website. If that's you, then it's your name. If it's not, then it's someone else, or who your host is and how to get into that. And then check your speed. Always check your internet speed of your website to see how fast it loads. So let me go back up to the top and talk about your domain name and your expiry date. I'll give you a quick example. I had a website, I had a domain name. I really liked that domain name, and it was great. And I put a lot of effort into that website, and I forgot to extend my registration for that domain name. And so then, in order to get that domain name back, I had to spend several $100s to buy it back from the registrar. And that was very frustrating. I owned it, it was mine, and then I forgot to renew it. My credit card had expired. I didn't go put a new credit card in on the auto renew, and I lost it. So if you have a good domain, you have something that you use in your business, it's on your business cards, it's your email address, don't lose it. Always keep that like renewed for like 3 years, so you don't ever have to worry about that. That's my one little example of my life where I really failed on that. So don't do that yourself.
Hey, Mike, could I ask a question? You asked about the speed of how fast it loads. How do you figure out what that is?
You know, there are websites out there. I didn't bring any examples, but you can plug in your domain name and see how fast it loads. And so if you do a search for how fast does my page load, or different things, you can actually have it load from multiple locations around the world, and it will tell you how many milliseconds it took for that page to load. And that's important for a lot of reasons. Is your page too heavy with graphics? Are you targeting so if I was trying to target a country that didn't have really great internet access, I'd want it to be a fast loading page, like low graphics. Nowadays, with most people on DSL and above, fiber or whatever, it's not as big of a deal, but it's still important if you're trying to load something really big and your homepage doesn't load. A lot of people give up and they'll go to another page. So you want your page to load. And these are more marketing kind of things, but still very related to your business website. Go ahead.
Oh, and I'm glad you have mobile friendly on there. You know, every once in a while I'll see something and I'll look at it on my phone, and it's so hard to read. And I don't know that everybody always realizes that they need to really make sure that, I mean, just because you have a website doesn't mean that people can see it well on their phones.
Exactly. And I might put that near or closer to the top of the list because being mobile friendly today is more important than ever. I spend more time looking at websites on my phone than I do on my computer now. And most people are probably like that. And especially if somebody is out, a tourist that's coming through town, and they're looking for a place to eat, or they're looking for something that you sell, having your website friendly for a phone is very important, because they're not carrying their laptop around. So that's important. So
like on the various, there's a lot of different pretty good site building companies out there now. Do you have any recommendations on the topic of mobile friendly? Are there any of the companies that host sites that are better for, that are good for both traditional access on a computer and being mobile friendly versus those that maybe aren't so mobile friendly?
I think the ones that you see advertised the most, and the one that comes to mind first, is Wix.com. They're one of the biggest. They have a lot of great tools, and yes, they are mobile friendly. From what I've seen, I don't use Wix.com. I do a lot of my own building, and I use WordPress, and I use I'll just call them templates, just so I don't have to get into jargon, but templates there that are mobile friendly, so they can do all sizes and everything. And so yes, but Wix.com comes to mind. There are several others, and I know that Square.com for like storefront things, and several others. Again, I don't want to promote one over the other. They all have mobile friendly options, but look for that, and that is important. And so if you're looking for a solution to build a website, do look for that mobile friendly, and it'll be in their specs of what they offer you. So yes, I guess the answer is yes, and I don't know exactly which one. So did that help? I always have really great sort of answers. So and we'll talk. So at the end of the class, or this meeting, I was going to tell about a class that we're teaching, an e-commerce class. We will cover things like that. We'll talk about those different solutions and what's best for you. Some people want to build it themselves. They want to have ultimate control over everything. Some people want to not have to worry about that. And a site like Wix or Square, or like 30 others that I can't think of right now because I'm on camera, are great for not having to do a lot of work. All the back end stuff is done for you. Credit card stuff's all linked up. So you just say, yes, I want to accept credit cards, and here's my products. Here's the descriptions. Here's the price. Boom, it's done. Oh, please deposit in this account. So those are really great full solutions for websites. Anyway, so good question. Any more questions while you're at it? No? All right. So let's talk a little bit about social media. So again, this is a simple audit. You can go on the internet and find really involved audit forms on your social media, presence, and how you're interacting with people and all of this. And I chose to do something a little more simple because I just want you to think about it. If you're already an expert at this, then this is probably not useful to you. But if you're just kind of starting out, or you haven't really been involved in social media promotions online, or having your own website, then this may be a good starting place for you.
Mike, do you want to maybe stop share and reshare? We're not able to see your social media list.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go
Sometimes,
back.
yeah, let's try it
What
again.
happened? Let's see. How about now?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because I'm sharing and I've got different tabs. So we'll stop each time here and fix that. So for social media, I listed all of the top ones: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. LinkedIn is a big one, especially B2B kind of companies, or if you're more professional services. Snapchat, Pinterest, Reddit, and the list goes on. I didn't put all 4,000 social media sites there, but the biggest, of course, is Facebook. If you're selling any service or product, you gotta probably look at Facebook at least part of the time, because it's really important to getting people through the door, and people using your services. Always have access to your profile page. How do you get there? Or your profile in your page, if you set up a page for your business, which I recommend. Make sure you're the owner, or you know who the owner of that page is. You don't want to fire somebody that is in charge of your Facebook page, because now you're really in trouble. So you want to make sure that the owner of that Facebook page is you, or you have full access to it and nobody can mess with that. Centralized passwords means use a password manager. There's many. 1Password is one that comes to mind. There are, again, I'm on camera, I can't remember all the different ones, but there are lots of password managers, and you'll need those passwords regularly to look at your social media. Most of them work on mobile platforms or mobile phones, as well as on your desktop, so you can have your passwords stored for all of your different accounts. Don't use the same one for each one. That's dangerous. Have different passwords for your different social media accounts. Anyway, so that is either saying, yes, I've got a centralized password, or what it is, if you really want to put it there, but I wouldn't put it there. Who's going to respond to what? So if you've got multiple people managing a Facebook page, who are you going to designate as the person that just responds to customer questions and problems? Is there a designated person or persons that will do that? And who are you going to allow to post on your Facebook page? If you have many people in your business, can anybody post and act as the person in charge? Or do you want to designate someone who can, only one person that can have that customer facing discussion? What's the purpose of your social media presence for each of these? Some people like Instagram, they'll share all of their really cool things that have happened at their business or cool things that are happening with customers. And Facebook, they'll share more marketing message or whatever it is. What's your purpose for that channel? And it can be the same for all of them. It doesn't have to be different, but maybe some will want to target different things. Maybe your LinkedIn profile will be more about getting a job with our business and working with us as an employee or something like that, whereas Facebook would be more about customers. Who's your target audience? What age groups? What types of people are you looking for? Are you targeting women that own Chihuahuas, or are you owning men that like Mustangs, or women that like Mustangs? Either one. Not to be biased there, but who are you trying to target? Is it are you targeting moms? Are you targeting dads? Are you targeting single people, or whatever it is? And then, is your brand consistent throughout all of the things you're doing on the different social media platforms? Is your brand within Facebook? Whenever you show a logo or whenever you do something, is it the same? Are you being consistent? Do you have a good profile picture? Do you have a good cover photo? Do you have all the bios and descriptions and things like that? Are they good? Are they what you want to present to the world? So you want to look at all those different things. Again, focus on the ones that are most important, the ones that you see driving the most traffic. Keep reinforcing those, and maybe not worry about the ones that aren't until you're ready to grow even more, grow your business more, but try to maximize each of the ones that are important to you. Can you see the next page called review listings, or do I need to stop my share?
Looks good.
Okay, same idea. Review listings are like Google My Business listings, Yelp, TripAdvisor, City Search. For anybody who's in a restaurant or in a motel business or any kind of tourism business, these are Yelp, TripAdvisor, Google My Business, City Search, Yahoo Local Pages. Those are all really important. And the way you find out, and we can look at this in a second, how people are finding you, is just go on Google and type in the name of your business. Maybe you put in the town if you want, where you're located, and it'll pull up all of the different places where you're listed. And the ones that are first are probably going to be the ones that are delivering the most traffic. So look at those review sites. I would bet that most businesses that are trying to work with tourists should be on Google, My Business, Yelp, and TripAdvisor at the very minimum. Those are kind of the top ones, but there are a whole lot of others. I'll scroll over a little bit, and I forgot to freeze the first column, but there are some others: Super Pages, Foursquare, Angie's List. If you're involved in a business that does anything with home building or repairs or plumbing or whatever it is, Angie's List, Home Advisor, and there are others too. So there are many places where you want to check your review. It depends on your business. If you're a dentist office, you're not going to be on Yelp, probably. You might. You probably won't be on Angie's List, but you might. I don't know what Angie's List covers these days. They're expanding, so everything changes. So pay attention. But do look and see where your type of business is usually reviewed and listed, and make sure you know what's going on there. Some review sites let you answer reviews. So if somebody gives you a positive review or a negative review, you can answer that, and some don't. Google My Business listing does, for sure. Yelp, I don't think they do. TripAdvisor, I'm not sure. Do they do that? I can't remember if they let you respond to a negative or positive post or not. So anyway, Colette's nodding her head, but I'm not sure.
TripAdvisor does, I'm pretty sure.
TripAdvisor does. Yelp, I don't think does. Mm-hmm. So anyway, they're all different. And so pay attention to which ones do and don't, and we'll talk about reviews in a second. So, but anyway, make sure all your information is correct. Same thing, make sure you have good photos on there. Have, post photos if you can of your business, so that when people drive up in front of it, they go, oh yeah, that's the place. and make sure you have correct map details. If it's not showing up correctly, contact I spelled directions wrong. Anyway, contact the organization. You should have a login and be able to fix things if they're not right. And if you can't, then contact customer service people for those different listing review sites and have them fix it for you. Anyway, and then search engines. I like to do a review of my search engine placements. Of course, your business name is probably the first one you want to do, because most people will search. If they know about you and they're looking for you, they're going to put in your company name or their business name. So see how you rank. Search engine optimization and rankings it's probably a 6-year discussion. So I don't want to get too deep into that, but it's good to know where you rank. It's good to know when somebody types in your company name, where do you show up? What are your competitors showing up? Where are you on that page? Sometimes if you have your own domain name with your company name in it, you will come up first just because that's what it pulls first. I'll show another example in a minute of a business that has that, and they're the first on the list. What other keywords do you use in your business? If you make horseshoes, you should probably have horseshoes as one of your keywords. If you make donuts, then you probably should have donuts. If you have some special type of donut, then like Krispy Kreme donuts, then you definitely want Krispy Kreme to be, one of your keywords, and donuts to be a keyword. And you'd want to pay attention to, when you search for those words, how do they show up? Are you on those rankings? How can you improve that? Again, that's a discussion for, many hours. So I won't go too much, but it's good just to have a basic understanding of where you show up on search engines. All right. I'll drop out of that. And if anybody wants to have a copy of that, I'm happy to share that. And I'll give you my contact details at the end, and I can share that document with anybody who wants it. It's very basic and not perfect, but it's a good starting place.
You were in my mind, because
yes.
I was going to ask if you'd be willing to share it, and I'll just send it out along with the recording.
Sure.
That'd be
great. No problem. I'll do that. That works. All right. So in addition to all that audit, once you've done that and you kind of know where you stand, the next question is, okay, so how do I take charge of my online presence? So I suggest a couple of key areas. First, if you haven't claimed your Google My Business listing, do it. That's the easiest, fastest, lowest hanging fruit out there for a business that wants to show up on the internet. Claim your Google My Business listing, go through it, add descriptions and pictures and all of the hours and everything. They actually take you through a wizard that lets you do that pretty easily when you sign up for it. There may be things you don't have yet, so you can skip that and you can come back to it later. They're going to try to sell you AdWords. They're going to try to sell you a website. They're going to try to sell a lot of different things as you do that. You can skip those things. You don't have to do that. But if you, again, if you want to set up a website and you don't have a Wix website, maybe the Google website's a great first option. You might want to change it later. And most of the time, if you set something up on one platform, you can go set something else somewhere else and transfer it to somewhere else. You might lose some of the things that you've set up, but you can move things around on the internet. It used to be a lot harder than it is today. All right, so let's talk about taking control. And one of those ways of taking control is with reviews. Google list my business listing definitely is a place where you can take control of your reviews. And so when I talk about reviews, that's good reviews, positive reviews, and negative reviews. According to a recent study, over 70% of respondents said that their opinion was changed after a business responded to a review. So if you want to change people's minds about you, respond to a review of somebody else. So positive reviews can help you captivate their attention as they're going through things. They'll look at the reviews and you'll like, oh wow, somebody's made a positive review about this business. It keeps their interest and it can help you build trust and confidence for your business. Studies show that if a customer trusts your business based on the online review, they're likely to spend 31% more with your business. So that's a big number too. So if you have reviews, you've responded to reviews, now they're probably going to spend more money with you if that's what they want to buy, if the stuff you have is what they want to buy. So it's really setting you up for a good business opportunity. Take time to respond to positive reviews. It's a way to show that your business cares and is proud of the experience you offer your customers and that you provide. And also, if you express that your business is grateful for their for their patronage, that's the word I was looking for, then it'll make people feel good. And as other people feel read things like that, they feel good too. Even though you were saying it about somebody else, it makes them feel good. And you want people to feel good when they're reading about you. The second side, or the flip side, is negative reviews. I always was scared of negative reviews. I thought that's a terrible thing. But I've learned, and I'm sure you have too, that negative reviews can actually have more impact on a customer than positive reviews, and it can be both good or bad. So 41% of the people, customers that saw a brand's response to an online review that was negative said that they would be willing to work with that business even though there was a negative review, because they saw that this business is actually willing to work with their customers and make things right. So it's a really important thing to respond to a negative review if you can. On Yelp, you're out of luck. TripAdvisor or Google My Listing, you can do that. Even on your own website, you can respond to negative reviews and do it quickly. So here's a few steps that you can take to turn a negative review into a positive experience. A business should first apologize. We're sorry to hear that, whatever it was. And then approach it with a calm and collected response. So if it was a heated debate at the time and somebody wrote a really nasty review, distance yourself from that. Maybe let somebody else write the review so that they don't have all the emotion in there, or response, and give a calm and collected response to what happened. You probably don't need to go into all the details. I'm sure the customer already did that, but you can do that. And then offer a proactive way to right the wrong. So something you could do for them. We'd like to do this for you. We'd like to help you with, and then the fourth point is to offer a way to continue the conversation, but privately, so it doesn't continue through that thread on that review. Take it offline, give them an email address, give them a phone number for your manager, your service manager, or whatever it is that the person that that would be able to handle that. And make sure that's one of your best people at handling customers that you give that information for. Don't send it to the grumpy person, send it to the good person. Anyway, and we all have grumpy people. And if you're the sole proprietor, you have to be all of those. So try to be the happy person when you're working with them. All right. Again, by addressing negative online reviews, you're going to get an opportunity to show your brand as a real, genuine, people behind it kind of a product, and that you care about your customers' experience. So that's reviews. I think they're really important. So how do you get more? Well, first of all, give great service. Okay, always try to give the best service. I'm sure as a business person, you're trying to do that. That's why you're in business. You want to help people and help customers. Ask customers to give you a review. Make it really easy. You could print cards with a URL on it, or someplace where they can click to go to do a review. You can get really cheap cards from several different printers online. Business card printers, they'll print a card for like $5. They'll do 100 of them, and you'll be surprised. And if you maybe find a way to give a code, it's not always important to give a reward. And in fact, a lot of times you don't want to give a reward for a review, but you can find ways to do things to say thank you for a good, a review, any review. Send them an email if you capture their email. If you're using Square or different types of things where they allow you, some do, some don't allow you to capture emails. Do that. Of course, capture them on your website when you get a sale there, if you're selling on your website. But use your email to ask them for reviews. Make it really, really easy on your website. Have a form where they can say, hey, how was your experience? tell us here. Send them a text message. If you have their mobile number after they've done business with you, send them a text message. They find that 68% or the click rate of a text message from a business after they've had an experience there is 68% click-through rate. That's crazy. That's amazing. And 15% complete, which is also really crazy when you figure that it's maybe like 1% in any other circumstance. So 15% completion rate of a review or a survey about your business is great. Don't buy reviews. There are unscrupulous folks that will sell Facebook, likes, and they'll sell reviews and they'll sell these things. Don't do that. It'll just get you in trouble. And don't spend a lot. Don't say like, hey, I'll give you a free meal if you review me. That can be seen as bias and also not very scrupulous. So don't do that. As far as the next steps is setting some goals. So once you figure out where you're at and what's kind of happening with your presence, set some goals. That's the hardest thing. You're going to want to do everything. You're going to want, wow, I want to build a bigger website, or I want a website. And, hey, I want all these social media, and I want all these things because I want to. You can't do it all. So set some goals, set reasonable goals, and decide what you want to do. One of the questions that I have right now, and especially because of how our current economic environment is, what can I do using what I have to pivot and to expand my business into different areas, but not have to change a lot. So I had a conversation with Colette about this. It's like, if you're a restaurant, maybe you prepackage meals so that people can take them home, put them in the freezer, and then eat them like TV dinners, but have a much better experience. Maybe it's so maybe you offer that. Maybe you offer that on your website. Maybe you there's just so many different ways to pivot just slightly and still offer what you're selling, but in a little bit different way that appeals to people in the current climate. Like, they don't want to touch anything. We have a restaurant here. As soon as COVID hit, he wasn't going to shut his doors without a fight. And so he put signs up on the window that says, we're still serving, just come and we'll serve it to you, in lockers on the side of his building. He got a whole bunch of old high school little gym lockers, cleaned them out really well. And so then he would put food into the lockers as it came out so people could just pick it up out of lockers. He realized that wasn't the right way because it's too cold here in Panguitch and the food got cold fast. So then he started just bringing it out the back door when people texted and said, we're here, and he'd bring it right to the car door and hand it to them in a glove so that he was sanitary and made people feel comfortable. That's happened all over the country, but just a great way to pivot when something happens. Maybe you're offering coupons. Maybe you're offering something else on your website or on your Facebook page to come in or to stop and pick something up. There are a lot of different ways to do that. Finally, you need to have, well, I've got two finally. So let me go with the first finally. So if you want to have your own website, the good thing about having your own website is controlling your presence. So you can't really control what other people say about you all the time. You can sometimes influence it, but you can't control it. Your website is the place where you can control everything about what is being said about you. And so so if you don't have a website or it's not up to date, you should do that. A simple presence that's actively being updated is very important. If you decide that you just don't have a lot of time to actively update your website, then choose pieces that you'll update regularly, and then try to use evergreen content all around your site so that you don't have to show that you've updated it today. But maybe you update what's happening this week, or what's happening, what your specials are, or what things are going on that are important for that month, and do that regularly, so that you don't have to do so much. But do make sure it's up to date. Make sure you have all the menus if you're a restaurant, all of the services that you offer, all of the ways that people can contact you or buy from you. If you sell products, make sure you have a way to sell your products online and have a way to get it to the people, a delivery service or whatever it is, to get it to people. Finally, the question is, do you want to build it yourself or do you want to buy it from someone else? That's the Wix versus setting up your WordPress website yourself. That's having someone manage your social media presence versus you looking at Facebook all day long. There are different ways to handle that. As a small business, you can do it yourself. You may choose a few things you want to focus on and not focus on others. Keep your eye on stuff, but don't necessarily focus all of your efforts. My suggestion is have a website, pay attention to Google My Business listing, Facebook, Instagram. If you also have reviews on Yelp and TripAdvisor, then do that. And those are kind of the places where I would focus my efforts as a small business, or another review site if you have that. I would also make sure I have relationships with the local Chamber of Commerce so that your logo and your business link is there, or other local organizations that post people's website links and services. Do get the word out in your community, or other organizations. Look for people that are bundling like tourist type things. Get your website listed on their website to look for those types of linking out opportunities. But that's more of a one-off thing. That's not something you need to look at every day. That's just an ongoing way to increase your exposure. Finally, if you get overwhelmed, you can't do it yourself as a business owner, there are ways to reach out to freelancers that will do those things for you. As part of our program, we teach people how to be freelancers, and if they have those skills, then they will go and freelance website design, social media marketing, and all those different things. I'd be happy to put you in contact with freelancers that are part of our network, that are interested in helping people. If you get to the point where even that doesn't work, you might have to hire a large agency, or you might have to hire a marketing person of your own, and that would be dedicated to your business. Those are all okay. As you grow, those needs are there. Some businesses I've worked for have 100 people in their marketing department. That's just what business is. As you grow, you need more people to promote you. Last and not least, and I'm a minute over, so I'll try to hurry, but our program, the Rural Online Initiative through USU Extension, is teaching an e-commerce course this coming January. We're going to start it the week of the 18th. Our first workshop will be on the Wednesday, the 20th at noon. But the class opens on the 18th. You'll be able to get in and see all of the content and what we're doing. If you'd like to sign up for that, the sign up is the registration page is there, but the dates aren't quite there. It's being fixed right now. But you can go there and sign up for the class. It's $25. It's a bargain price for what you get. We will go through a lot of the content in depth that I've covered today and some others. We will actually build a website or you'll get to build your own website if that's something you would like to do. And so we'll work with you on that. And then if you have other directions you want to go, we would be happy to help point you in those directions to maybe get on. If you're trying to sell your product, you want to sell it on Amazon or something, we can talk about that. There's lots of different places to get the word out about your business. We'll try to cover a lot of territory in that course. I just pasted a link to our website, remoteworkcertificate.com/e-commerce is the link. And again, that should be updated by the time this recording comes out. And unless Pat's really fast and gets it out really quickly, and then it might not be there yet. But again, that's starting in January.
And Mike, would you be willing to show us that website just so we have a visual on it?
Sure, I will show you.
And again, where people can put in their interest if they want to sign up or put in an inquiry.
Right. So here is the website. Again, the shortcut to it is remoteworkcertificate.com/e-commerce. Can you see my page there?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's the page. It says the 15th. That was the last one. But the information is there. You just click on apply here. It will ask you some questions about yourself, and then everything we do is we're a college, we're a university. We like to ask questions and survey people, so you get surveys here and there and questions like that. But this is where you would put your information in and let us know who you are and what you'd like to do. And we have place where you can put in your website if you already have one, and so on and so forth. So again, that's where it is. You'll be asked to pay the $25 by PayPal. We'll send an email link out to you where you can give your you can log into PayPal and pay that. It's very secure. We never touch your credit card information and all of that. So anyway, does that help?
Sure does. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from the audience here?
I also,
Oh, go ahead, Colette. No, go
I was
ahead.
just going to say, what do you have to say to business owners or managers who say, this isn't really for me, this isn't super important, things are fine the way they are? We do things the old school way, things are fine.
Okay. I'd first kind of say, yeah, okay, and kind of like, all right, you're one of those folks. No, I'm kidding. You know, it's I've heard that, and it's interesting. You can do things the old school way, but eventually you're going to miss out on a lot of business. My generation, we spend a lot of our time looking for things, reading reviews online, figuring out who we want to do business with based on what we read on the internet. In the old days, it was easy to ask your friend, hey, where would you go to get a good plumber? And they'd say, oh yeah, Bob down the street can do that. I don't do that anymore. I go online and I look for recommendations, and then I'm going to go with what they say there. And if I miss out on Bob down the street, then Bob's not going to get my business. And so I would say that it's hard. I know some people that are maybe not comfortable with technology as much, or are just not really sure about the whole thing. It's not going away. The internet is here to stay, and it's only going to become more and more important. And so I would say find somebody that you can have help you if you are uncomfortable with that. Find if you have to get your children or your teenager or somebody in your business. I've seen people use their employees that are younger people to help them get their things online. But don't sacrifice professional look because you're letting a teenager or somebody do it too. Make sure their work is good, because whatever you show on the internet is what people are going to think about you. So you might want to consider investing a little bit of money to get someone just to review it, to make sure what's there is good or whatever. You don't want to just totally not be there. I guess that was kind of what you were.
Yeah, thank you.
First feedback. Okay, thanks.
And those were great points. I'm wondering, Mike, I actually have a question for Colette. So Colette, Mike is talking about, people that might not be that technology savvy, or someone maybe who's not a great marketer. Does the Dixie State University Business Resource Center have people that can help with that?
We do, yes. Through the Dixie State Business Resource Center, we offer help with this. We won't do it for you, but we can help guide you through it. We can, help you through those sticking points. We do have interns who are very savvy, that work with websites, social media, graphic design, and even content writing. And so if you have a project that you need some assistance with, through my services at the Dixie State Business Resource Center, we can absolutely help. Also, I'd just like to highlight that, there are trainings that are going on through Mike's program, through the Rural Online Initiative. We offer trainings through the Business Resource Center at the Small Business Development Center, our chambers of commerce in the region. We all try to offer resources and help. And I'd also like to include the Women's Business Center of Utah, Debbie Drake and Lisa and the team there. They have some great online trainings. And so just keep educating yourself. And most of those are free, or like Mike said, inexpensive. So take advantage of the services that are there to support you as a small business owner.
Thanks. I did paste my contact information in the chat. My email is mike.sarles. It's at SARLES at usu.edu. And my cell phone, I carry it with me 24 hours a day. Please don't call me after midnight. 435-531-3877. You can call me after midnight, but you might not get any coherent response. So anyway, thanks.
Any other questions? Anybody have questions for Mike? Well, Mike, that was awesome information. I took a lot of notes, and I'm looking forward to sharing all this with our chamber folks. And oh, and Colette, I see you raising your hand.
I was just clapping.
Oh, clapping. I thought that was hand raising. Yeah, great. Clap, clap, clap. Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. This was great. And Mike, can't say that we appreciate you enough. This was really great information today. So, and I'll be editing the recording because I'm kind of stumbling over what I don't really have a smooth closeout for this. Chelsea, are you still with us? How are things going at Ensign Staffing?
They're going pretty good.
Has your business picked up? Is it kind of steady? What are you guys seeing over there?
It's been fairly steady.
That's good. Glad to hear. Is this the time of year when you tend to slow down, or do you usually get busier, like going into the holidays?
It seems like it varies, just depending on if Stampin' Up's needing more people, if Create Room's needing more people, or if they're good. That usually, if they're seeing a bigger influx than the year before, then it'll make us a little bit busier. But otherwise, it seems like right now we're staying pretty much the same.
And are you seeing people that are leaving the tourism-based jobs and going over to the manufacturing jobs because they're more steady during the winter months? Have you seen that in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I have had a few that have opted to go from customer service based to trying to get on production, just because there's more options there.
And how long just out of curiosity, how long do the clients typically stay with Ensign? Is it for like a 3-month trial period before they get hired on full time, or do they stay with Ensign for longer than 3 months?
It varies. With Stampin' Up, it's usually like a 3-month trial type thing, but Stampin' Up does have the option at any time in that 3 months to hire them on early. And usually they'll do like a big lump of temp employees. And then there's others where it's just for however long the job needs them. Like with Big D, it was, they were temp until the job was finished.
Mm-hmm.
So it just varies on the company and what they need.
It's good to know.
Yeah, great highlight. Thanks for sharing all about your business. Anybody else have any highlights to share or anything to say before we wrap up?
No, just thank you, Mike. We really appreciate you.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Okay, well then we'll plan to see everybody again next month.
Been fun. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.